What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol CLOV for Clover Health Investments. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. This will be, of course, more of an update since we've covered it semi-regularly now on the channel, and the main thing to talk about is the firm acceptance now back inside of this overall range. At first, we weren't sure if this large red-bodied candle here was going to be more of a back test, and we were simply going to, see a reversal out of the highs, but today's activity kind of confirmed it, right? It was the nail in the coffin, if you will. Just looking at the upper wick that we put in on today's session, and then the week close underneath our $9.69 mark, it just doesn't look so hot. So as we know, the rules state whenever we're dealing with a look above and fail, as we know that's this activity here, failure back down into the range, the target's simply the bottom end of the range. So what we'll be looking at is a move back down towards 8. Are you going to short this thing? I mean, you could do it through puts, of course. I would just argue, probably stay away, right? I wouldn't be fishing for longs. I would really wait for the next structural setup to form itself and not be so aggressive to the downside here, just kind of outside of my own personal risk preferences. But if you want to short it, by all means, the setup is there if we start taking out some of this structure underneath, which brings me to my next point, the intraday data here, what's going on with the price activity, especially on today's session with that larger upper wick. Let's take out the Fibonacci's and look at it through the lens of that, as we always do, going from the low of the morning up to the high, just to gauge the strength of the initial drive higher. You can see that on the pullback, we never really respected the 38.2 or the 50% and kind of came back down cleanly through that 61.8, started getting candle closes underneath, which is never a good sign, so you typically expect a 100% retracement. So we'll get rid of that now, and this time go in from the high all the way on down to the low. If we could get a click here in Thinkorswim, thank you. So down to the low, and just noting that the 38.2 is pretty much coinciding with structure here at $9.69. I would argue that's just the number to watch, simply because not only is it the 38.2 in structure, but overall, right, it's the area of balance, it's the highs there. If we get back up and over it, again, you're probably being patient here as we put in more structure to determine what the next possible setup could be. But as the chart currently sits, pretty weak close, pretty weak indication with that upper wick, as well as move back inside of the balance area. We're just simply looking for lower. So if we start taking out this area here, and don't get me wrong, I can see what's going on in the post market here. We're currently trading around 905 by 906, so right back down towards this area down here. Technically a small gap down. We're not going to cover gap rules here, but we will just say, again, if we do break down this 9 area, it's very likely we retrace to the bottom end of the range, noting that we have the look above and fail sort of rules in play here. So looking at 787 as a downside target. If it does hold at 9, though, that brings up the interesting possibility that maybe this could be a higher low. Then you would be watching for a move back up and out of the balance area here, if and only if it confirms as a higher low, right? So this would be your major anchor low. This would then be your higher low. And then from here, this could potentially be the start of a higher low. It's all going to depend on how tomorrow unfolds and whether or not we hold this area here right around 9. So those are my thoughts. Wouldn't be the first thing I'd just get happy and go lucky about and just jump in long. Really waiting for more information here on CLOV and seeing how this balance area plays out. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned something new, certainly let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.